Good morning, folks. It's Monday, and I didn't post anything over the weekend because it's been, let's say, not the best. Anyway, yes, we'll skip over that bit. ZZR carbs, I've got them off because my version of the Haynes manual doesn't give the settings for the air screws, and I couldn't remember what I'd set them at. I set them at whatever they were, but it was quite low. It was only about 1.5 turns out, which is low to me. Usually you're about 2.25 to 2.5. Any more than that, and that needle doesn't actually do anything. You've opened the port. It's like a little pointed needle. Anything over about 2.5, you've fully opened the port, so there's actually no metering going on. And depending on where the needles are located, sometimes they can be the top of the carbs, bottom of the carbs usually. If it's bottom of the carbs, it's adjusting fuel. If it's the top of the carbs, it's adjusting air, basically. There's not that many that are just at the top, but I have had them before. I think, if I remember rightly, my old Suzuki GS was at the top, so that would be an air screw. Because these are in the float bowl area, etc., they're more than likely going to be doing fuel instead of air. So anyway, that's the carbs. I did notice a little puddle of coolant when I'd stripped the ZZR out overnight. The ZZR strip was, I wouldn't say it was a nightmare, but it kept me guessing, because pretty much every single fastener on it is either sort of been bodged into place, or it's completely the wrong fastener. There's lots of, like, somebody's put lots of square washers behind things and shit like that. And also the front of the bike's wiring has been butchered. The headlight connector, the indicator connectors, the horn connectors have all been butchered. An instant thought was, oh, it's probably been raced, because a few ZZRs were raced, and they were pretty good actually, because they were a fast bike. Not the world's greatest handler, but not shabby by any standards. And then I thought, well, even if it's a race bike, you just wouldn't do that. You just take the stuff out of the way. On a bike as heavy as the ZZR, worrying about the weight of a couple of bits of loom is here, there and everywhere. Anyway, I did notice a little coolant leak. We'll sort all the wiring out, that's not a problem, and when I put the bike back together again, I'll sort the fasteners. I'm going to go in the shed in a minute and show you, because near every fairing panel on it's cracked and bashed, and you know, all this lot, it'll all be done eventually. I'm not great with bodywork. I don't like doing it. I really don't like doing it. I've not been successful with bodywork. But there was a little coolant leak, and I took the front of the pump off. This is the front of the water pump. Yeah, and this feed here is it's actually for this fella. It's for the carburetor heating circuit, which we have on UK models. The E models had this, the D models didn't have it. This has a little filter that goes in it, and there's a coolant bar at the front of the engine. There's a tap off that comes around, goes into here, through here, and then we get a little bit of coolage in the float bowls just to warm them up in colder weather, basically, and then that exits to the pump. Yes. So anyway, I noticed a slight coolant leak, and it was coming around from this area, but as you can see, there is corrosion. It's not bad, but that corrosion there, the green meanies, it's enough over time to it will displace the hose. As the corrosion grows on the part, it sort of displaces the hose, and the hose can't seal anymore. I'm going to whiz wheel that, and it should be fine for ages afterwards, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, the hose will seal again. There's no reason why it shouldn't. It's in good condition otherwise. If if I end up keeping the bike, I'll probably put some snazzy Samco silicone hoses on it, but it's an expense I don't need at the minute. I'm utterly brassic, absolutely brassic. So yes, I've had a lot of bills come in and what have you, but you know, that's normal really. So that's where I'm at. So I'm going to take you in the shed now and just show you the Z. Yes. Yes, here she is. Here's the Z. The boots are back on with the new O-rings, new filter for the pump. The pump's working. My carb bowls were full. Yes, ignore the bowl of coolant under the bag. Obviously it's a little bit grubby underneath, so I might just give everything a bit of a clean while it's like this. But yeah, basically a lot of this bracketry does not look factory to me. No, but who knows, it's an old bike, it maybe has a bit of a tale to tell, but yes, I think somebody's tried to Street Fighter it unsuccessfully, because why would you cover the back of the clocks up with this fucking hideous fake Kevlar? Again, indicator loom butchered, horn wiring. I mean, look at this for headlight, look, not even a proper connector on it. Oh yeah, that's out the indicator because it's been butchered. There's no multi-plug. I can put multi-plugs on, it's not a problem. I do have in my little box somewhere, I do have 2 or 3 boxes of proper connectors, you know, connector blocks. We can make up connector blocks, both insulated and non-insulated, and get rid of all these bloody horrible crimps. They're alright for getting you out the shit, but they don't look very good and they're not easy to work with afterwards. This is all normal. This is the coil loom, but your coils go there and your plug holes. Cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4, it's always left to right on a inline 4, and the firing order is on this 1, 2, 4, 3. So yeah, so this coil does cylinders 1 and 4, and that one does 2 and 3. And the problem I was having with the plug boots was there's a little, well, it's quite it was a big bit of a rubber boot at the top. It's not part of the main cap, it's a secondary piece. It's a rubber boot that's just designed to seal the tops here, and the only problem is they foul this vent cover. This is for the vacuum system, and then you've got a vacuum pipe come off there to these 2 carb tinkles. It's all part of a vacuum system that goes into the airbox and stuff. It's all very complicated, and it took major effort to get the plug caps down, to get that nice clicky when you know they're on top of the spark plugs. And I wasn't happy with it, so I've cut those boots off. The likelihood of any wetness getting in here is absolutely minimal because it's just shrouded in bodywork. You know, these splash guards on top of the engine and all sorts. So I've cut those boots off, and now the boots click on lovely and they stay there. Because last time I fired it up, it was like a cement mixer. It was quite obvious a couple of cylinders weren't firing, and they were before. So I've cut those boots off. I've yet to try it again. I mean, I can spray some shit down there and put the coils on and try it, but there's no point. I'm just going to button it all back up. But yes, the water pump is off the side. There's the water pump down here, look. Yes. Oh yes. That's the coolant. I will not be reusing that. It looks fine. Absolutely fine. There's no bits of shit or corrosion or anything like that on it. But the pipe's okay. There's no heavy corrosion inside the rubber pipe or anything like that. I think it's just a corrosion around the pump, and it sort of flexes the pipe just enough for it to leak. It wasn't a leak, it was a drippy drip, but it's enough. I mean, when the system's under pressure, it would then leak. So I'm going to sort that. You may as well sort it all now, so you don't have to worry about it later. But yeah, I might get the old cleaning spray out and just A lot of this is dust actually, because even though it was covered up, it was in a dusty environment, and it's gonna get there eventually. I'm not too bothered about the engine looking a bit scabby, to be honest. It's a fair bike, nobody sees it. I'm going to ACF it. I'll just ACF it, and it won't get any worse. These are your inlets. These big massive holes are the inlets for, there's the airbox. But the great thing about I would say being forced to strip it back this much is that it's going to be so much easier to put the air system back in, because once the coils are on and the carbs are on, the base airbox will go in there, and then you can feed the ducting in at the side, and then we've got these plenum chambers. Hello, I'm a plenum chamber. Plenum chambers that basically bolt on to these god-awful homemade brackets. I might look on the Kawasaki website and see how much the proper brackets are, because I'd like to replace the Tom fuckery fittings with proper ones. But I can just do that on eBay. Just get them. Somebody's put leather boots across the top of the plenums. Fuck me. That should be a plastic attachment with a grill on it. The snout I described the other week, see, that's the snout that goes up to the air valve there, that then comes around and pressurises the float bowls. So yes, so that's where we are. So yes, if there's any more news, I will bring you back. I've now got a chain guard fitted to the Aprilia. I managed to get one, and it's a lovely faded grey. And I've tried putting the heat gun on it, but to be quite honest, all my heat gun does, there is no heat setting. It just slightly blisters the plastic before it brings the oil out of it. A quick rub over with WD-40, but I don't really care. It's fitted, I don't care. So that's where we are. So yes, I did go into this eyes wide open that it was a project. John was honest enough. He used it as is, and then it's been stood nearly 2 years. So yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. But yes, I'm looking forward to this one. If there's anything the Aprilia needs, it's span adjustable levers. I might get some aftermarket ones, because I'm at like full stretch for the clutch and what have you. Or I can just heat the lever up and just bring it back in a bit. But yes, other than that, cock on. So that's where we are. That's Mr. Steve's VFR is not a table. I just put that there while I wanted some bits for this. Mr. Steve needs to come and have a look at his bike, because this now is at the point the battery's back in and everything. Chuck a bit of fuel in it, it will bark off. And then if he's got working brakes, and if he wants to take it a lap of my grandmother's private test track, he can. What we need to do is get the fairing sorted and get it repaired, and it's something I don't really want to tackle, because I am utterly shit at bodywork. It's got completely the wrong mirrors. The mirrors are supposed to secure the top of the fairing like they do on the Z, and I'd sooner have him give it to someone that does it for a living, basically, and then it'll be done properly. And there's a couple of issues with the back panels. There's a grommet missing. Grommets are easy enough, but the only thing that holds the back of the panel in is it's almost like a little tongue and groove, but they're not very good. So anyway, yes, he needs to come and see this, and that's where we are. So that's your Monday morning update. Yes, I'm look forward to this, and like I say, everything will all go back nice and methodical, and cooling system was cleaning off, so happy. Yes. Oh, and at some point I've got to take the Aprilia apart to do the carburetor rebuild, because we've still got a hanging needle. I've sort of cured it for now, but it will always be in the back of my mind. So I've got the needle kit for that. But I might just take the front cowl off the Aprilia, because the speedo's this side and it wasn't illuminated very well, and I've got loads of new bulbs, so I may as well chuck a load of new bulbs in it. So anyway, that's it. Ta-ra. It's raining. It's not supposed to be bloody raining. Moan, whinge, moan.